What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Dark Avenger comic book review, the series where I like to talk about books I read in the previous week as we are trying to catch up so desperately. Things have been so busy. Holiday seasons are coming in. No excuses. We're moving forward. We're taking Dark Avenger Live and moving it to a different day because I want to get this review up as soon as possible. We have 7 books for this review. All these books were released on October 11th. 2023. We're getting into the middle of October as we're getting close to the end of October as I'm recording this video. So I'm really hoping to get this review done, get the other books read before Wednesday so that I'm ready for this Wednesday's books. It's a crazy time. But anyway, like I said, we have 7 books. I want to waste no time. There's going to be some other things this week. I'll talk about that at the end of the video. So let's start with the video, with the review. A Haunted Girl, issue number 1. This book really did surprise me. I enjoyed it. A girl who is being haunted all of her life. She gets put into a mental hospital. And at the beginning of the book, and especially towards the middle, you keep thinking, oh, she could have powers. There's a little flashback at the very beginning of the book, but then we get to the present. Oh, either she's crazy or she really has abilities. And then as we move forward and as we get close to the end of the issue, we find out that she's not really crazy, that this actually is something that's going on with her. And her father has known, spoiler, the entire time. And he's been told to prepare for this since she was young. I like the artwork. I think the story is really interesting. Glad I read the first issue. Highly recommend checking it out if you like some good ghost stories, or I have no idea, but this girl has the ability to see something. This is very interesting. I liked it. I would recommend it. Now, I don't have the graphics, but for books that I have physical copies of, Army of Darkness Forever, issue number 1. I've been through many different volumes and titles for Army of Darkness. But you see this cover, right? The cover, the artwork looks really nice, really good. And then you get into the first couple of pages and you're like, yeah, I'm sorry, but this artwork just took me out of the book. It does a lot of review of the dark ending to Army of Darkness, the good ending to Army of Darkness. It recaps all of that, and we find out that Evil Ash is still alive. I like the premise of the story. I don't like the artwork, so I got the chromium cover. I'm very happy, or the foil cover as they call it. I'm happy about that. Will I be continuing the series though? No, I can't. I'm sorry. The artwork just threw me completely out of the book. I lost complete interest in I got to the first couple of pages and I'm like, I'm gonna read it, but it was just no. It just didn't fit. This artwork does not fit for Army of Darkness. So sorry, Dynamite. This was going to be your only book I had right now, but can't do it. Maybe another series, maybe Darkwing Duck or something in the future. But till then, let's move into the big 2. We're going into Batman and Robin, issue number 2. Batman is on the trail. We caught the White Rabbit in the last issue. Or Batman caught, we didn't. Batman caught the White Rabbit. And the White Rabbit's all connected into what's going on with all the teaming up of the Orca and everybody else. However, Batman's on the heel, and while he's healing, he wants Damian to lead a normal teenage life. Go to school. He goes to school for a grand total, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. And then he's gone because he wants to get back on the case as Robin. And Batman, who believes he's healed up enough, he goes back on the case as well. They end up teaming up together. They figure out they got to talk with White Rabbit to figure out what the hell's going on. except somebody beats them to White Rabbit first. And that is a very abbreviated version of this book. This is one of the first issues I read about a week and a half ago now. So I'm playing this all off of memory here. But it was an excellent issue. I really liked it. I will be sticking with Batman and Robin. It's going to be my only Batman book, though, since it's not taking place. It's not in the Gotham Wars. I like that it has its own little slice of the universe in its book. And that's where I'm going to stay. Okay. Now, my absolute favorite book is Superman Lost, issue number 7. This issue focuses a bit more on Clark going for help in the present day. While when we go back to seeing him trying to get back to Earth, he's stuck in a black hole and he meets his older self who apparently got stuck in the black hole and explains that he makes it back to Earth, but it's years later. The world is you know, all doom and gloom and whatever. He tells us this really radical story that Clark figures out immediately is fake and that it's literally just to waste his time long enough for him to get to the black hole. And he offers the older Superman to come with him. Of course, he says no. Clark goes into the black hole. Present day, he's feeling like he's losing Lois. I mentioned this in the very beginning of the series. I said, it seems like Lois is getting a bit fed up and angry with all that's been going on with Superman. And now he's going to somebody for help because he can't lose Lois. And then the issue ends with Superman being found by somebody finally. And that's Adam Strange. And that's where it's to be continued. We are now beyond the midway point, because I believe this is a 10-issue maxi. So we've only got 3 issues left. Really interested in seeing where this book goes and how it concludes. Going into Marvel, the next team up, I guess, Wolverine issue number 38, where he teams up with Cap. Talks about the uncanny Avengers in here. We still got Wolverine going after his clones here. He got a tip about I forgot what exactly the tip was. Again, this is one of the other books. This and one other one, which we're going to talk about next. This Batman and Robin and the next book I read all a week and a half ago. We got some nice flashbacks. We got I think he got some intel. And he wants to team up with Captain America to stop this covert operation. And they're successful. It's an auction with a bunch of artifacts and whatnot. And they all get turned over to oh my God, I forget. I think they got turned over to S.H.I.E.L.D. Wolverine continues on his mission to stop his clones. And Captain America goes back to Uncanny Avengers. Again, all these books, while they are on their own, still somehow connect. It talks about Uncanny Avengers here. It talks about a few other things going on here. So while Wolverine is now on his own and did break away from Krakoa, I actually got the trade that took place right before issue 37, which led him on this journey to go after his clones. Yeah, he's no longer dealing with Krakoa, but somehow because he's Wolverine, he's still connected. Next up, we got Spider-Man India issue number 5, the grand finale. Spidey versus Geary versus Lizard, and Spidey is able to cure the Lizard, or he finds a way to cure the Lizard, and then takes the fight to Geary, and I think he finally figures out that the world does need him as Spider-Man. And we also get at the very end of the issue, we get to see the new costume because he kind of reinvents his Spider-Man India costume. And it's closer to Across the Spider-Verse, of course. I loved it. I thought the costume looked excellent. I thought the whole series was amazing. If you didn't check out Spider-Man India when the trade comes out for the 5 issues, absolutely check it out. This is one of the few Spider-Man books I was reading. It's over now. However, we do have another Spider book that's starting up, and this is the prequel to it, Superior Spider-Man returns, issue 1, one shot, whatever you want to call it. And this goes back to Doc Ock, going back to his lab, back when he was Superior Spider-Man, his hidden lab. And for some reason, he forgot how he was able to make a energy, or it's like a power source that is the energy of a small star or sun. And we get a flashback to him as Superior Spider-Man trying to figure out the equation to make that energy source. And he ends up hiring on a scientist. And she teams up with him, and then he starts to get minions. And then, as Superior Spider-Man always does, things spiral out of control. She makes a suggestion. He thinks it's his own suggestion. It's success. She gets upset. She decides to try it on her own while he's on the town celebrating that he thinks he figured it out. And she ends up trying the experiment. It semi-fails, and it turns her into the power source. And then, of course, Doc Ock finds a way to lock her away. But now remember, now in the present, Ock forgets that it's a person. He ends up freeing her, and he thinks that she's going to go after him. However, she doesn't remember him as Doc Ock. She remembers him as Spider-Man. So she wants to go after the person that imprisoned her. Spider-Man. Pete, who didn't do it. So this, once again, like the way he had to convince Black Cat and Mary Jane and everybody else, now he's going to have to deal with this new foe. And boy, oh boy, I'm excited to see where this goes in Superior Spider-Man. I'm not reading Amazing Spider-Man. I will talk a bit about Spider-Man more when we get on a Dark Avenger Live, especially right after New York Comic Con. There's a bunch of stuff that we are going to be talking about. So with that, that's it for the review. Things that are going to be coming out this week real quick, since we're here, and this is going to be probably coming out on Monday. I'm going to try to get this out like literally right after I record this. I got a couple of shorts I'm going to be working on, a haul video, a couple of opening videos. I've got my first Let's Play started up. I'm going to be recording a few parts so that I get a little bit ahead. That's going to be showing up on Dark Avenger Gaming. As soon as this video goes up, I'm going to be getting the books together that I got from last week, reading those, getting that review out as soon as possible, and then hopefully, God willing, this Wednesday's books I will have all set to go for the next, towards the weekend, for another review. So this might be the first of 3 this week. Let's see what happens. But anyway, thank you all so much for being here once again for another review. Take care. Keep reading, keep collecting, and I will see all of you really soon in the next video.